This is a very bad thing I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go pick up a motorcycle. I shouldn't have a motorcycle. So, let me explain my history with these two-wheeled things. First, when I was like a teenager, I had a couple of them, cheap bikes because I couldn't really afford them very much. All my resources went into my cars because I was always a car guy. So through the course of my life, I had, in my younger life, I had a few bikes. They would come and go. And usually I'd run into a cash crunch and have to sell the motorcycle to buy whatever I needed to put my car back together. So back around the late 90s, 1998 or so, my time serving the bitch goddess Nitro had kind of come to an end, and like I had this head that was full of insane and no place to really use it. It's like transitioning from like that kind of lifestyle or mentality to like the regular world is not easy. So one day I'm in my shop and one of my customers brings me this old Honda Twin Star, this little 185cc Honda, to get it running for me. Found it on really somebody's porch or whatever it was. So yeah, drop it off. I got it running for you. So I tweak around with this thing for a couple hours. I get it running, and I'm running. It's just a little tiny Honda Twin Star. So I get it running, and so I'm gonna take it for a ride. Cruise around the neighborhood, and he says, "Oh, I really like this." Motorcycles. I forgot how much fun motorcycles were. Being the manic aggressive that I am, the next thing I know, I've got like 4 motorcycles. I go out and I pick up a KZ650, and I picked up an Ironhead Sporty that was half a chopper, and I picked up, so I don't know, I had like a few bikes that were just, like, this is like overnight. I needed a triple. I needed another Kawasaki triple, so I picked up a 69 H1, which is the baddest of all the triples. I don't care what anybody says. I have a lot of them. I'm a 2-stroke guy. I love 2-strokes, right? So over the next 5 years, I bought, sold, built, traded way over 100 motorcycles. In fact, when I left New York City, when I moved from New York down here to Tennessee, I had 28 bikes, and I narrowed it down to 8. I came down here with 8 of them. So, this in itself is pretty good. I made good money with motorcycles. But I'm not the type of person that should have a motorcycle. Me and the sausage creature are like this, okay? The cornerstone of my personality is that when I get in the zone of like anything, it doesn't matter what it is, but if I'm in the zone, right, I run purely on primal urge and instant gratification. I don't really think of consequences. I don't really think of, I'm just in the zone, And this is not good. I'm not responsible. I crashed a lot of motorcycles. I crashed. Okay, during that 5-year period of time, there were periods of time in between, like being in a wheelchair where like I was wearing the crutch, I was wearing the cast from one crash when I would end up in the cast from another crash, right? I actually had, there was a period of time where I picked up a Honda, an LCB 750, and I made a rack for my crutches because I couldn't walk, right? And this was bad because at the time I was a self-employed mechanic. I ran a shop out of my house. So if I was down, you know what I mean? The bills didn't get paid, so there was no downtime. It was like I'd go right from the hospital or whatever into the shop and get to work. When I was in the wheelchair for a while, I actually hooked up a series of like pulleys and whatnot and chains and ropes to pull myself around the shop so I could hoist myself out of the wheelchair and do whatever I had to do and then get myself back into the wheelchair. It was rough. There was a period of time where I couldn't walk at all because I had, on a dirt bike, I had crushed my crushed all the meat out of my left heel, And then on a street bike, I broke my right ankle. So I ended up crawling around for about a month. And one of my customers actually went and bought me hockey player knee pads so I could crawl around, and I was still riding motorcycles. And one of the reasons I had to ride motorcycles at the time was because my license was under massive revocation suspension. I mean, it was unbelievable in New York. And at the time, they were like cracking down on all of this stuff. So they were setting up checkpoints, there were cops everywhere. And the only way I could get away from the cops was on a motorcycle. They couldn't catch me. So that's what I did. Any place I went, I didn't drive cars for several years. All I did was ride motorcycles. This was year round. I mean, I rode motorcycles in snowstorms, hailstorms. It didn't make any difference. 0 degrees. I remember once going over the Verrazano Bridge in an ice storm. It was like 10 degrees, dragging both of my legs, both of my feet on the asphalt, because the bike was just doing this the whole way across the bridge. But this was like normal to me, like it became like a way of life. So I understood the consequences of being my own worst enemy with this stuff. But I kept getting hit by other people, and it wasn't because I was an inattentive rider. Like, I looked everywhere. It was like, actually, almost paranoid about people. You know what I mean? Cars making moves, and but I kept getting hit by people making left turns. As the cell phone became more, and things and the gadgets in the car became more common, there was more distracted driving, And while I could control my own urges sometimes, right, to not get hurt, I had no control of what other people were doing. And the third time I got hit by somebody making a left turn in front of me, I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm old now. I can't heal as quickly as I used to. I got to just stop with the motorcycle thing. So I did. I went cold turkey. I got rid of every bike that I own, and for the last, 10 years or so, I've done nothing but cars. Just focused specifically on cars. But there's still a thing, You still got a thing for motorcycles. I love motorcycles. And you need one, right? I gotta have just one bike in my life. About a year ago, I said the same thing. I was like, I need a motorcycle, right? And I had narrowed it down to. Now remember, I owned and rode everything under the sun, right? So all I wanted was a happy, get around town, happy kind of bike, right? And I had it narrowed, and I love twins. I have lots of four-cylinder bikes, but I love twins, and I had it narrowed down to. I had it narrowed down to either an SV650, which is just a happy, smiling motorcycle, or a Ducati Monster. And if I thought, I started looking. And if I thought about it for a while, I said, no, both of these bikes are going to get me right back to that zone where I'm like accumulating bikes like crazy and wheeling around and trying to race everything under the sun. No motorcycle. Put this out of your head. So I says, wait, what if I get something that's just like so totally impossible to get hurt on to go fast, right? So then I'm looking at, I said, I'll just get like a, I'll just get like a little thumper, you know what I mean? Because I don't care, I'm not trying to uphold any type of image. You can look at me when I'm riding and say, that guy's a fucking nerd. I don't care, you know what I mean? I just want to be up on two wheels. I want to be in the wind a little bit. And then he says, no, just forget the whole thing. Because I can turn anything into a weapon. That's my problem, You give me something like simple and basic, and I'll figure out a way to turn it into a weapon, I'll start replacing frame parts with like balsa wood and shit like that, just to get it to go. So one of the things was, during that period of time before I moved to Tennessee, when I lived in New York, I was like, very, very stressful lifestyle, right? Extremely stressful lifestyle. And the The only way I could fall asleep at night, and this was like for over a year, the only way I could fall asleep at night was to throw a copy of On Any Sunday into the VCR, right? And watch On Any Sunday. And that was, I get lost in that. I did it every night for over a year. I watched On Any Sunday, right? So, I saw something recently to remind me of that film. And I was like, oh God, you know, I missed that. In fact, one of my buddies used to call me Malcolm, right? Because I was always riding, I was always on something, I was always doing something stupid. And you know, even dirt bikes. I had a bunch of dirt bikes. That I love Kawasaki's. I had a KX 125 for like the really tight trails, and I had a 250 to, you know, let it rip. And I was looking for a 500 when I stopped. Dirt bikes. You know, I got this thing for the dirt. But again, see, overkill. I go too far. Like there was one time I was passing. There was this lot that on Staten Island by Tottenville High School that had like a circle track in it, right? And there was a bunch of guys would get together with their dirt bikes, and you know, they would be ripping around. And I was passing by the one that I was riding a Kawasaki Zephyr, a 750, 4-cylinder bike, right? You know, some naked sport bike type of bike. And I'm riding this Kawasaki Zephyr past, and I hear ring, ding, 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 coming out of the woods. I'm like, oh, they're fucking racing. I got to get in there, right? So I jumped in there with my Kawasaki Zephyr, and I raced these guys on the dirt bikes, and I won. I took a 550-pound 4-cylinder sport bike, or naked sport bike, and beat a bunch of guys on RM125s, and because that's, you know, okay, that's the level I was at with this stuff. I actually, one time, I went over the handlebars pulling a stunt like that on another street bike. I broke both of my thumbs, right? And I got back on the bike, and I raced them all again, and I won. So it was like, you know, see, I don't belong on motorcycles. This is a bad thing. But anyway, back to the On Any Sunday thing. I was like, you know, I missed that. I missed that so much. I missed those days. I have to get something that kind of fits that mold, right? You know, so I found one, right? And it's a basket case. Hang on, I gotta get gas and hit the ATM, and we'll be back. Okay, we're back on the road. So, last night, I'm just going through Marketplace, you know, and this thing pops up. And like all the bells went off my head, and I was like, oh my God, that's the perfect bike. It doesn't have enough power that, I'm gonna go out and like do stupid stuff with it, right? It's flexible, I can ride it anywhere I want, you know? And it's something that like I'm very familiar with. My first bike when I was 16 was one of these things. In fact, it was like, if you're my age, it was everybody's first bike. There were millions of these things out there. Very simple motorcycle, very user-friendly, very common as far as parts go. Parts are cheap for it. It fits all my needs. And this one is a basket case. But that's alright, I want to do like a restoration project, a driver quality restoration on it. And I'm going to limit myself to just this one bike. So, we're almost there. So here it is. So, you didn't think we were going to make this easy, right? We're going to turn this into a contest. The first person in the comments that can name the year, make, and size of this bike gets a free UTG hat, right? And a couple of stickers. We'll throw them a couple of stickers too, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so year, make, and size of the bike. Don't let this fool you. This is just like an add-on sissy bar. So that's it. And then like tomorrow or the next day, we'll show you the general state of decay that we got going on here, and give you a tour of the bike, and that's it. So that's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Unless you're the sausage creature, then you stay away for a little while. Yeah? Okay.